First contact, the warning lights pulsed crimson across the laboratory as Dr. May Chen adjusted her microscope for the 14th time that evening. Atmospheric disruption imminent, the station's AI announced in its monotone voice. Levels exceeding safety parameters. Yes, thank you, Iris. May sighed. Without looking up from her work, I'm aware of the storm. The delicate purple fronds of the Altarian moss glowed softly under her microscope lens as she carefully extracted. Another sample? Just give me 5 more minutes. She whispered to herself, pushing a strand of dark hair behind her ear. Epsilonin. Research station had been her home for 3 years. Rotating alone in the orbit of HD 957 to be an uninhabitable gas. Giant on the edge of Coalition space, perfect. Someone who preferred the quiet company of alien flora to the complexity of human interaction. The station shuddered violently, knocking several specimen containers to the floor, warning docking. Bay breach detected, Iris announced as emergency bulkheads slammed into place. Unknown vessel attempting emergency docking procedures. May's head snapped up. What? There's no scheduled supply run for another month. Her heart raced as she secured her samples and grabbed the station-issued stunner from the wall safe. Iris identified the vessel, unable to identify small craft, approximately 3 meters in length, severely damaged, making her way through the narrow corridors. May kept the stunner raised as the airlock cycled open with a hydraulic hiss. Acrid smoke poured into the corridor as the inner doors parted, revealing the crumpled remains of what appeared to be a small escape pod. Hello, she called out, weapon still raised. This is Dr. May Chen of Coalition Science Division. Identify yourself. A movement from within the wreckage caught her attention. A slender purple hand emerged from the smoke, followed by a face that was almost but not quite human. Large, iridescent eyes blinked against the station lights as the figure stumbled forward. Please, the alien woman whispered, her voice melodic despite the obvious strain. Help him, he's dying. In her arms she cradled a small bundle from which weak whimpering sounds emerged. May lowered her weapon immediately, recognizing the distinctive features of a Naluri refugee. Their homeworld had been destroyed in the recent conflict with the hegemony. You shouldn't be here, she said softly. This sector is under Coalition quarantine. For your species, I know, the woman replied, her purple skin shimmering with what seemed to be bioluminescent tears. But he's all I have left, my son Kai. She pulled back the covering, revealing a small child whose once vibrant purple complexion had faded to a sickly lavender. He needs the nathrium compound that only grows in this system. Without it, he'll starve. May hesitated. Coalition protocol was clear. Unauthorized refugee assistance was punishable by court-martial and permanent reassignment to the mining colonies, but the child's labored breathing and the desperation in the mother's eyes spoke to something deeper than regulations. What's your name? May asked, already knowing she was about to break every rule in the handbook. Aya. The alien woman replied, Aya Navari of the southern colonies. Her luminescent markings pulsed weakly with hope. Come with me, Aya May said, turning toward the laboratory. I'm not promising anything, but I have plants from across this sector. Maybe something will help. As the station rocked with another solar flare, May Chen made a decision that would alter the course of her carefully ordered life forever. Growing trust. 3 days had passed since Aya and her son had crashed into May's ordered existence. The Xenobotanist laboratory had transformed into a makeshift medical bay, with Kai resting on a bed of thermal blankets, surrounded by monitoring equipment. His vital patterns are stabilizing, May said carefully, adjusting the nutrient solution flowing through a thin tube into the child's arm. The synthesized compound seems to be working, but it's temporary at best. Aya looked up from where she sat cross-legged beside her son, her violet skin catching the laboratory lights in a subtle shimmer. You've done more than anyone else would have, she whispered, her voice carrying a musical quality that May found increasingly captivating. The Coalition would have left us to die. May shook her head as she checked another readout. Not everyone in the Coalition thinks alike. She hesitated before continuing. My parents were refugee advocates before the war. They believed in helping regardless of species. Were? Aya asked her, bioluminescent patterns shifting to a deeper blue that somehow conveyed concern. May busied herself with adjusting equipment. They died during the Beijing flooding 5 years ago. She rarely spoke of this to anyone, but something about Aya made the words flow easily. I was off-world when the barriers failed, couldn't get back in time. Aya moved closer, her movements graceful despite her exhaustion. In my culture, we believe those who leave us remain as light. Particles dancing between the stars, her hand hovered near May's, not quite touching. Perhaps your parents danced there too. A comfortable silence fell between them, broken only by the soft beeping of the medical equipment and Kai's gentle breathing. Tell me about your world, May said, finally looking up to meet Aya's iridescent eyes. Before the hegemony came, Aya's patterns shifted to a nostalgic golden allure. Was beautiful once. Our cities floated above azure oceans, following the currents. With the seasons, her voice took on a wistful quality. We cultivated bioluminescent gardens that lit the night skies and sang to the twin moons sang. Music is how we communicate our deepest emotions, Aya explained. Would you like me to show you? She hesitated, then began a soft melodic humming that seemed to make the air vibrate with feeling. As the alien song filled the laboratory, May felt something stir within her chest, an emotion she'd long since buried beneath layers of scientific detachment. It's beautiful, she whispered. The station's intercom crackled, suddenly interrupting the moment. Dr. Chen, report to communications, immediately commanded a gruff male voice. Station Commander Cooper. Requesting status update on storm. Damage. Aya's patterns flash with alarm. They can't know we're here, they won't, May assured her. Though uncertainty gnawed at her stomach, Ira seal laboratory section and maintain privacy protocols. Acknowledged, the AI responded, however. I must remind you that harboring unauthorized refugees violates Coalition Directive 7.3. Override Ethics Protocol Authorization. Chanel Fanine May said firmly. Iris, I need your help to protect them. She turned to Aya, who watched her with a mixture of hope and fear. I need to speak with Cooper, but I'll return soon. Stay quiet, and if anyone tries to enter, use this. She handed Aya a security bypass card. It will lock down this section. Why are you risking everything for us? Aya asked, her patterns pulsing with confusion. You barely know us. May paused at the door, looking back at the alien woman and her sleeping child. Maybe I'm tired of being alone among the stars, she admitted. Or maybe I'm finally becoming the person my parents hoped I'd be. As she headed toward communications, May knew with certainty that whatever happened next, there would be no returning to the isolated existence she had once embraced. Her life had become inexorably intertwined with the fate of the purple-skinned refugees who had crashed into her world. Hidden sanctuary, you look like hell, Chen, Commander Cooper remarked, his weathered face filling the communications screen. 3 days with no status reports? That's not like you. May kept her expression neutral despite the anxiety churning in her stomach. The solar storm damaged several critical systems, she replied, adjusting her lab coat. I've been working around the clock to salvage my research specimens. Cooper's eyes narrowed. Any other damage I should know about? The proximity sensors picked up something unusual during the peak of the storm, just space debris. She lied, hoping her face betrayed nothing. It struck the outer hull but caused no significant damage. I've already repaired the affected sections. Cooper didn't look convinced. Well, the supply ship will arrive in 2 weeks instead of next month. Corporate wants your preliminary findings on those hybrid specimens. They're talking about fast-tracking the terraforming process on HD 9572C. May felt her heart skip. That's premature. The ecological impact studies aren't complete, and the indigenous plant species. Save it for your report, Chen. Cooper interrupted. Corporate doesn't pay us to admire plants. They want results. And speaking of reports, there's increased hegemony activity in the sector. Be on alert for any suspicious vessels, especially Nalori refugees. His voice hardened. They're considered security risks after what happened at Proxima Station. What happened wasn't their fault, May found herself saying before she could stop. The hegemony destroyed their world. They're victims, not criminals. Cooper stared at her for a long moment. That's dangerously close to sympathizer talk, Chen. Just do your job and leave politics to the diplomats. I'll check in again tomorrow, Cooper. Out the screen went dark, leaving May staring at her own reflection. What have I gotten myself into? She wondered as she made her way back to the laboratory. When the door slid open, she found Aya sitting cross-legged on the floor, singing softly to Kai, who was awake for the first time, his small purple face turned toward his mother with rapt attention. He's awake, May whispered, relief flooding through her. I looked up, her patterns glowing warm amber with joy. Yes, the medicine you created is working. He asked for food earlier. May knelt beside them, scanning. Kai, with her medical device, his cellular absorption rate has improved dramatically. She smiled at the child, who regarded her with curious, iridescent eyes. Hello, Kai, I'm May. The child made a soft trilling sound and reached toward her with small fingers. Instinctively, May extended her hand, letting him touch her skin. His fingers were warm, slightly textured like fine velvet. He likes you, Aya said. Her voice warm. He seldom trusts outsiders so quickly, smart kid, May replied. Because we have a problem. The station commander is suspicious, and a supply ship will arrive in 2 weeks. We need to move you somewhere safer within the station, Neas. Patterns shifted to anxious blues. Is there anywhere they won't look? May nodded. The hydroponics bay in Section 7. It was damaged in a previous storm, so it's officially decommissioned, but I kept it running for personal research. The environmental systems are independent, and it doesn't appear on the station schematics anymore. That evening, May guided Aya and Kai through rarely used maintenance tunnels, the child wrapped securely against his mother's chest. When they reached the hydroponics, Aya gasped in wonder at the lush garden that spread before them. Tall, leafy plants created a canopy overhead, while colorful flowers and fruits filled every available space. The air was humid, rich with earthy scents, and the gentle sound of running water came from an irrigation system that doubled as a decorative stream. You created all this? Aya asked in awe, her patterns shifting to impressed purples and greens. My private rebellion against station sterility. May admitted, something alive and beautiful in all this emptiness. She led them to a small alcove she had prepared with sleeping mats and supplies. It's not much, but you'll be safe here. IRS monitors this section on a closed loop that only I can access. As Aya settled Kai onto the soft bedding, May watched them, feeling something unfamiliar stirring in her chest. Something that felt dangerously like hope. I should go before anyone notices I'm missing, she said reluctantly. The nutrient solution for Kai is here, and I've programmed Iris to alert me if his condition changes. Aya rose gracefully and approached her close enough that May could feel the subtle warmth radiating from her purple skin. Thank you, she whispered, then leaned forward, pressing her forehead gently against May's in what seemed to be a gesture of profound gratitude. The touch sent an unexpected current through May's body, leaving her momentarily speechless. When she found her voice again, she whispered, "Rest now. I'll return tomorrow." As she made her way back to her quarters, May knew that her life had already changed irrevocably. For the first time since losing her parents, she had something more valuable than research, something worth protecting at any cost. Luminescent bond weeks passed in a rhythm. May had never anticipated her days split between official research duties and secret visits to the hydroponics bay, where Aya and Kai flourished in their hidden sanctuary. Your molecular structure is fascinating, May said one evening as she analyzed a small sample of Aya's bioluminescent cells. The way you communicate through light patterns is unlike anything in our xenobiology texts. Aya sat beside her, their shoulders nearly touching. Does science always drive your curiosity, or is there something more personal in your interest? She asked, her patterns shifting to a teasing pink-violet. May felt heat rise to her cheeks, both perhaps, she admitted. You're unlike anyone I've ever met, as are you. Aya replied, her voice soft on Naluri. We believe certain souls recognize each other across the vastness of space and time. Her fingers brushed against May's, sending tingles across the scientist's skin. I feel that recognition with you, May turned to face her, heart pounding. Is that why I can almost understand your light patterns now, without the translator? Yes, Aya whispered. Our energies are harmonizing. She leaned forward, her forehead touching May's in the Naluri gesture of intimacy. I never expected to find connection again after losing my world. When their lips met, May felt as though the stars themselves had ignited within her chest. Aya's skin glowed with brilliant patterns of gold and violet, illuminating the darkened hydroponics. Boehner by Kai slept peacefully, unaware that his mother and the human scientists were forging a bond that transcended species and worlds, a connection as rare and precious as the plants that sustain them all. Choosing family, the alarm blared throughout the station, jarring May from sleep. Warning: unauthorized vessel approaching. Coalition Cruiser identified, requesting immediate docking. Terror seized her as she rushed to her console. Iris, what's happening? Station Commander Cooper has authorized. Inspection teams to board all compartments will be searched according to Coalition fugitive protocols. May's blood ran cold, they know. She grabbed her emergency pack and sprinted toward the hydroponics. Bachet found Aya already alert. Kai clutched to her chest. They've come for us, haven't they? Yes, May confirmed breathlessly, but I won't let them take you. There's a research shuttle in the auxiliary bay. We can reach the sanctuary colonies in the Tau Ceti system before they track us. Patterns flashed with concern. Your career, your life, everything you've built means nothing compared to you, May replied with certainty. You and Kai are my family now. The station rocked as the Coalition vessel docked. We don't have much time, they navigated the maintenance tunnels one last time, reaching the shuttle bay just as armed officers began their sweep of the main corridors. May prepared for launch. Aya touched her arm. Whatever happens, know that you've already saved us in ways beyond survival. Her patterns glowed with the unmistakable light of love. The shuttle engines roared to life as May released the docking clamps. Hold tight, she told her newfound family. Our real journey is just beginning. As they accelerated away from the station, May watched as the stars stretched into brilliant streaks of light. For the first time since losing her parents, she felt complete, not as a scientist or Coalition citizen, but as part of something greater than herself. Behind them, Epsilon 9 grew smaller. All ahead lay uncertainty, danger, and the promise of a life rebuilt together. 3 souls bound by chance, circumstance, and the universal language of compassion that needed no translation. Kai's small hand reached for hers. His touch, a promise home? The child asked in his first attempt at human speech. Yes, May answered as Aya's arms encircled them both, her luminescent patterns painting their shared future across her skin. We're going home.